are the sons and daughters of the soul. We are resilient and forever forward-thinking. We ask for nothing else than the opportunity to live and to create the lives that we were meant to live. We want nothing but an equal chance at options and possibilities. The same possibilities and options to live out our potential as our fellow man. We want to be heard, understood, and expressive in our reality. We are the future. We are the creative. We are here.
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Hey, what's happening?
Good afternoon. Tony Rogers here, your host for Urbanology, the Art of War. I hope all is well with everyone. And it's almost time for fall to come in. The seasons are going to slowly change, even though I'm sure it's going to be a couple of more nice warm days before the fall gets in. And it's always funny, people when it's warm, complain about how hot it is, and when it's cold, complain how cold it is. So I suppose you have to take it as it comes. We're back. We're out for I think about 2 months. Soul City was involved in Harlem Week and a number of other projects, and this is our first show coming back. Based on that we weren't on vacation. Everybody was working, but doing some other things. And this is the second Tuesday where we always partner with Columbia University, the See You Grow program. And I have to be quick because I know that she has another meeting that she's going to have to go to. So I'm trying to make sure that we get as much information from Charlene De La Cruz as we can before she has to run. So I would like to have you again give a warm welcome to Charlene De La Cruz, the director of the See You Grow program at Columbia University. How are you doing, my dear? Can't hear you for some reason. Yeah,
How about
speaker.
now?
You're better, yes.
Hey, great. Well, hi, Tony. I'm so happy to just be joining you again. I know we took a nice little summer break.
I'm not sure whether it was a break. We was a break from here, obviously, but uh, I think both of us was, pretty busy over the summer.
Yes,
But
we were. We were.
I
But
know that you have some place to go. So what I first would like you to do, there's a program that you are getting ready to start.
so
Please let
not
people.
getting ready to start, but as you know, our department, Construction Business Initiative, has partnered with Ascend Cities, and through that partnership, became our piloted program, the Ascend Regional Program, where we really created an ecosystem of working with only minority-owned businesses, and we created those ecosystems to support those minority-owned businesses with strategic partners. So they're called our opportunity partners, and within that program, we work with Scanscale, Lend-Lease, Tishman Speyer, Gilbane. So we work with a lot of large construction management companies, and we've now partnered with Ascend NYC, which is powered by the Business Outreach Center. And they are actually having a 10-week program that they're actually recruiting for. So if you are a minority owned business that has a small business, it really doesn't matter what kind of business, any business that you have, and you want to have one on one coaching, you want to have to immerse yourself to kind of understand your business approach. They really want to support minority owned businesses within the Bronx. So I did share a flyer. So I don't know if you guys are able to display the flyer here, but they're having information sessions today at 7, and on the 15th, they're also having another one at 7. So I just wanted to kind of put those resources out there because, again, these are free resources for any minority owned business that has an idea of a business. That's also another way to kind of like get full buy-in from somebody that's going to support you. They're going to look at your financials, they're going to look at your pitch, and you submit into a pitch competition, and you can win money towards your business. So it's really a win-win. And I just really wanted to just put that out there for anybody that's interested.
When will they do something? You said this is only for the Bronx. What about Harlem?
Well, this is not just for the Bronx. Like their entrepreneurial center is in the Bronx, but it's open to everyone. So it's
So
not,
anyone can go there.
yes, anyone could go there. So it's not just the Bronx, but their center is there, but they
Mhm.
want to work with everyone.
And what we'll do, I think you sent me the details, so
Yes.
we will make sure that we use social media, I suppose. But is there a number?
I don't think there was a number there, but there is a kind of like a registration link. Let me see if I
Mhm.
can try to put it in the chat for you. Let's see. Yeah. So there was a registration link, and that can be displayed in the chat. You can put that like on the chat, and people can click into there, and then you'll see all the different events that are happening.
And this is a program that. How long is the program?
It's only 10 weeks, so it's a very short really program. So it's something that, you know, it's they do it constantly. So if you miss this registration, you can always apply again, but right now this cycle has opened. And I thought it'd be a great
Is it in
opportunity.
the evening or in the day or?
They're usually in the evening. They do small like 1 hour classes, and they
Mhm.
look at different areas of topics within your business. So
Mhm.
there's a big focus on your financials and understanding them. Can't tell you how many times I've seen businesses that they don't really engage with banks on a business side. They still have their own businesses, but they engage with the bank as a personal level instead of creating a business account, having, you know, appropriate documentations like profit and loss statements, balance sheets, things of that nature. So we wanted to support those businesses that those resources are out here
Mhm.
for them to utilize.
Okay. And I know we have guests, but my last question on this is that you indicated that if someone wanted to start a business, which would mean that they might not have financials or profit or loss or all of those things, obviously they'll be advised to do that. But how do they, what do they do for 10 weeks?
Well, it wouldn't be necessarily like an analysis of your own financials. I think they use a lot of case studies to make you understand the
Hmm.
statements. But sometimes, again, a lot of business owners are at a disadvantage because they don't understand what these statements means.
Right.
Um, and they're probably just depending on someone else to give them that information. So that's not a good position to be in. Like as a business owner, you need to know your numbers. You need to know where you
Well,
are.
that's the child that has their own, right?
So if you don't have these statements, there will be case studies. The goal of the program is to really help business owners and potential owners to understand what that means and how that implicates your business.
Well, hey, there we go. Uh, Matt is Magic Man, Matt Man.
Yeah, so I put the link in the chat. Like if you want to display that as well, that this will be a great way for people just to kind of just go in. And this is just an information session. So you can go to that
Mhm.
information session, learn a little bit more of what that means. Are you eligible? You know, look at their schedule. If it works for you, I think that would be great.
Great information as always, Charlene. So
Oh,
we
and
have guests. Would you bring on our guests, Charlene,
yes,
before you?
absolutely. I would love
Well,
to
you
bring on our guests. So, as you know, I usually take these months of, these Tuesdays of the month to really highlight great businesses that I've met throughout the years. And the first is Bottom Line Construction, Alexis McSween. And she's actually been working with us. She's actually launching her program, Youth Construct, and also, we have Deb Romaine Consulting, who is a CU Girl coach. And she's been a tremendous force of nature, always keeping busy and always giving back. I want to just welcome you, ladies, to just join us here again. Especially Alexa, she's been here before talking
yes, I remember Alexis.
construction, but I want her to wear her youth construct hat and just kind of talk about what she's doing with youth construct and what's happening.
Great. Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, good. It's so nice to see you guys again. Deborah, it's always a pleasure. Charlene, I love you to pieces. I love see you grow. I'm like a little champion of theirs. Um, So, first, thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it. Um, we are a part of the CU Grow family, the Columbia family, the Business Outreach Center family, Ascend more recently. They're doing some really wonderful things, and it's just really great. And like you said, Tony, they're in the Bronx, but they service, we're in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so they definitely, we participate with them. It's going to be a game changer, and the classes that they're offering, the programming that they're offering, is giving a lot of small businesses sort of a leg up. Definitely access to, strategic planning, all the way down to like Charlene mentioned, just being able starting a business and what that entails. And the case studies are really helpful. And even when we participate, we sort of share as a team, and they're always having really great conversations about how those case studies affect us and things like how to drill down into the numbers, which is something we all kind of don't like to do, but they make it less painful. So it's been a pleasure, and I'm really proud of Charlene and what she's doing, and the whole team. So we founded Youth Construct. We're about, I would say, 10 months old, Charlene. We're like 10 months old. We gained our letter of determination at the end of December, and it was truly born during the pandemic. A lot of young people, we service 11th and 12th graders. So a lot of young people who were typically participating in the SYEP program, they everything froze. Everything sort of locked up. There wasn't any youth employment. So we felt like we had been used to taking interns every year, and we just felt like if we could expand that um, service. So that's kind of how Youth Construct idea was born. And so instead of just helping 2 or 3 interns per year, how could we increase that? And more specifically, how could we impact young people from our communities, young people that may not have access to their built environment. For example, we heard from young people that they're in their community, in their neighborhood, and they don't really know why that building was built or what's behind that green fence or anything past that vision panel of a diamond that everybody peeks through. And so I thought it was interesting that they didn't understand, how buildings were chosen, how housing was approached in their communities, and how it impacted them, and all the way out to it spills out to the retail the retail places that are there. Are they from the local area or are they from outside their communities? So we
Mm,
just thought give them an opportunity to get involved. So our whole program is based on architecture, construction, engineering, and development, and the young person's exposure to it. We have a stipend for them. It's a little over $1,000. It's a 8-month program, which includes a 3-month internship. Our kids, we had our first cohort graduate, and they went on to companies like Turner and Artemis right here in Harlem, to work on everything from estimating to quality control, quality assurance, um, surveying, just understanding how these jobs get bought out, and being in literally an estimating department, change order
mm.
department. So it was an experience. We had three that actually gained full-time employment.
Wow.
Yeah, so that was huge. We started out with 19 during Omicron. 2 months were virtual. It was tough, and
Hmm.
then when we transferred over to one of our anchor funders, CPC allowed us to have classes at their beautiful location in Midtown. And we wound up graduating about 13 students. Half of them went back to their juniors, so they went back to school. Two or three went off to college, so that was really great. And so this is kind of, we're now recruiting, youthconstruct.org if anybody's interested. We're recruiting. We have info sessions every week on Wednesday, at, I believe, 6 o'clock. So every Wednesday at 6 o'clock, anybody can show up. So we welcome guidance counselors, principals, students, and we've been having, I think tomorrow's our second one, and we'll start classes October 31st.
And Alexis, what's the, how can people reach you?
So like I said, they can definitely go to youthconstruct.org. Thank you, Charlene. And we're also all over social media.
Mhm.
So we're Youth Construct on LinkedIn. For a lot of our sponsors are interested in that, a lot of business owners. Since we're in the industry, it's kind of cool. So we kind of always plug Youth Construct. But there's Facebook, there's Instagram, and Twitter.
Mm. Okay. And Deb,
LinkedIn.
you've been sitting very
Yes.
patiently, and I know that you know these two ladies. You are part of this Columbia uh, family of entrepreneur trainers, and I know that you make signs and do a number of things that we've talked about over the years. So, and now you're a coach. So tell us a little bit about your business and how you have connected with Alexis and Charlene.
Okay. Well, thank you all. Thanks for having me on. I always say, I'm Deborah Main. I always tell people that they're using my services or what's known as wayfinding, and they don't even know it. So if you need to find, if you're at an airport, you need to get to your gate. That's all part of the directional system that helps you find your way. If you're at a hospital, if you're on a college campus, and you need to get to your dorm or to a low library or to an academic building on campus. That's what we do. We help people from the exterior to find their way to their destination, and then while inside, we help the facility comply with ADA building codes. So it ties in with construction in that we 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 help people get to where they have to go. A company like Alexis does bottom line. They do fantastic construction. We then help people find where they have to go within the building to help them use the purpose of the building.
Hmm.
And I've known Alexis for quite a number of years, also through Columbia. One of the programs where we actually were the cohort versus being a mentor. We were being mentored by some very top level people, including Laverna Fountain, Tanya Pope, and now as a business coach, I'm working with Charlene, and I'm mentoring a fantastic company called Quality Wet Paint. And he's I love his enthusiasm for his business. It's so infectious. Um, what he does is he runs a painting company. He has a full-time job, and he is managing this painting company with a couple of other partners full-time. And he just started the program this year for the CU Grow program, and he has taken off. He attends all of the networking events. So he's not only in touch with Columbia events, he's also in touch with New York City NYCHA events, School Construction Authority. He's been to, I think, Turner has a special surety bond. He's been everywhere, networking and trying to drum up business. And he finally scored a great opportunity through Columbia with the tennis center. So he's been busy painting the tennis center. And we look forward to seeing that completion and his work.
Well,
And so that's
that's
something
interesting. Very.
that works when it comes to like when we engage with a lot of the firms and whatnot, we give them like these best practices. These are the things that you need to do. So it makes me feel so great when something that we continually tell our firms to do and to see it into fruition and play, like that is just something that is just so amazing. So we're very excited for Bernardo.
I think one of the other things that Charlene, you have mentioned with Deb and I'm sure Alexis is how you can give back. I mean, you get a lot of tools, you get a lot of opportunities, and what happens is like it's playing it forward to allow for other people to take advantage of some of the knowledge that you've acquired and contacts and relationships. And I think that that's really important. And that's something that when people talk about Columbia University, it's a lot more to it than meets the eye. And Charlene, you, Tanya, and Laverna, from the many years that I've been working with you guys, have really created a situation where the Debs and the Alexis and so many more people, if it wasn't for you, I'm not sure whether those opportunities would have taken place. And that's very important.
That's true.
Yeah. Well, I definitely will not take that all on my own. It's a shared activity of just the
But it's
leadership
on you now. You can take
of Tanya and Laverna. And it's just, again, it's really them passing the baton and just, again, empowering you to just be outspoken and advocate for so many diverse businesses. And it's just an esteemed pleasure. But it's not only me, but it's even Deb. Like, her being, a company that does a lot of wayfinding, just partnering up with a smaller company to support them in terms of getting their foot into the door. Through the Ascend Regional Program, we've onboarded a set of firms there to be considered approved vendors of the university. But again, sometimes you like what you like and you stick with who you know, and it's not necessarily fair to the newcomer. So, something that Deb did, and she partnered up with Genesis Signs, and I think that that's a tremendous story. Like, he is so happy and eager, just to partner with you. He came to class and talked about it, and just so excited about the opportunity. And that would have not happened if it wasn't for you, Deb. So it's just, again, we always talk about strategic partnership. Just think about how you're taking on these projects. But it's really a kudos to you, Deb, for doing that. That's just a tremendous leader right there.
Well, and Alexis, your program, how 19 young people must have been kind of a stretch with the business obligations that you have to kind of do all of that. I mean, how did you manage? I mean, obviously you did. Matter of fact, you did very well since some people got jobs. But how did you fit that into your, I guess they say your day job or your foundation job, I suppose. So this is a labor of love, actually, not necessarily economics.
Yeah. So I would definitely say, even though we're in a for-profit, we're a for-profit firm as Bottom Line Construction and Development, but we're very mission driven despite that. And so we just felt like, the Columbia was such a great partner with this program. Not only did they provide sort of coaching, but they also provided, we were coming out of the pandemic, they provided an MBA student whose concentration was strategy. She's now graduated. We went to the graduation. But it was huge. I mean, their impact on which way to take the program and how it would be most impactful, all the way down to the duration and timeline that the program should be and how it would benefit students from our communities. And also, you have to understand what a big net, wide net, the Columbia family kind of put around all of us, in that not only did they help you with your business, I don't know if they realize how much they helped other entrepreneurs that are not even tethered to the Columbia family, because we all kind of went out like little marching soldiers. And, they must have done a good job in picking who participates in their program, because I could, name several businesses off the top of my head that we sat down and went over all the stuff that Columbia was sharing with us as far as how to stay open and how to get, ancillary seating in front of your business. I mean, people were really scared, Tony. So Columbia, I don't know if they fully can grasp how far that reach went as far as how we shared their information.
Well,
So
one of the reasons why we have Charlene and we've had Tanya and the rest is for people to know.
yeah,
Fortunately, with Soul City, we can rewrite the narrative, and a lot of people can view this. This show is posted on the Greater Harlem Chamber of Commerce's site. It's also posted on the Harlem Tourism Board site, so people can know you most of all, which is why uh, I am happy that you're here, because it's a way for us to help you promote your business based on the things that you're doing. And Deb, I remember when I first learned about the wayfinding business, which is so commonsensical. I mean, I mean, we all have to find our way some kind of way. So it would seem that there's always something that would make your need you are. I'm trying to say, I was going to say a needy person, but that's not what I meant. You're a person that a lot of people need. And how did you come to that understanding and say, hey, there's a business for this?
You actually took part of my tagline, Tony. I like to say that I help people find their way, because truly that is what we do. And we work with architects, facility managers, designers, especially architectural firms, to make sure that the signage does its function, in terms of being ADA compliant, so that someone with a disability can find a particular room, but also so that it blends in with the decor of the space. So if there's a lot of aluminum, well, then we may specify an aluminum type of sign with a certain type of finish based on the client's budget. We may spec true aluminum versus maybe a painted acrylic sign that looks aluminum. So it's a combination of different things. I myself, I'm not into design. My background is marketing, and the opportunity presented itself with a firm that was based in Atlanta, Georgia, for me to work with them in their sales department and manage a certain territory in the New York area, New York, New Jersey area, and that's how I came about knowing about signage. Now,
Hmm.
prior to that, I worked in construction, so I did marketing for construction companies. And what I'm hearing about Alexis's company organization, the Youth Construction, it would be great to get to the point where she is funneling the next generation. She's doing it with the major companies, the major CMs, but it would be great for the smaller businesses, like in the Ascend program and in the CU Grow program, to also benefit from those from those interns. You know, because they're learning, and we always need help. We always need help. And the thing is, we're at the point to where we want to give back, we want to train others, and a lot of people don't know a lot about this industry. It's so unique, it's so specialized, and it would be great to find ways to educate the younger people about it.
And Charlene, I know you have to leave, so I want to thank you because I know you're going to disappear in a second. But thank you for all of what you do. You make my life easy on the second Tuesday of every month. I wish I could have you on all of the other three Tuesdays, but I, kn- I know everyone is pulling on you. So thank you. If you leave, I just want you not to leave without me giving you my gratitude for your work.
I really appreciate that, Tony, and I would love to stay here with you, lovely ladies, but I'm leaving you in great hands, and I know they're going to take care of you and give you a great rest of the show. I'm so honored to meet you and to have you in my space and to work with you side by side. And as long as I'm here, I will always advocate for you both. So thank you. And
Thank
Tony,
you.
until next month.
Next month we'll work on it, and I know you'll be in contact with me, which is wonderful.
All right, everyone, take care.
Take care, Shelley. Alexis, a construction company, when you talk about a construction company, you tend to think of males. I mean, I know it must have been and it must still be kind of a interesting challenge as a female dealing in construction in the level that you do. That in itself is inspirational, I'm sure, to allow for women to understand that they uh, have options that in the past might not have been available to them in their mind, especially coming from some of the groups that you work with as far as the age and ethnicity. How did you decide to take this on yourself?
So that's a good question, and it's asked a lot. But so my background is first I was a fire department EMT, and then a cardiothoracic nurse. So I'm still a nurse. I haven't been back to the hospital in a few years, but one of the key things that people always say is, what does healthcare or nursing? How did
With
you?
construction?
That doesn't even go together, but it does go together because you have to look at it this way: when you're really good at what you do and you're passionate and you're even from a healthcare perspective, you're taking care of people. You have to look at it like we take care of projects. So as a nurse, you have to get everybody on the same page. There's not one particular person that's responsible for your health care. It's a team. It's a team of surgeons, therapists, um, everybody, all sorts of specialists depending on what's going on. And it is that nurse's responsibility, which commonly it's women, but over the years it's changed. Um,
Yes, it has.
yes, it has, is to get everybody on the what? The same page. And so when you're taking care of a project, it's the same way. You have a huge team of people ranging from businesses like Deb's to architects to structural engineers to specialists to surveyors and expediters and developers, and the list goes on. And you kind of have to get everybody on the same page to take care of the project and focus on completing the project. And so the advantage is if you can sort of get everyone on that page, if you're sort of used to navigating that type of environment, because there's still a lot of stressors, right? It's not maybe life or death, but it's time, money.
Yeah.
So some really big, you know, really big stakes on the line to get these projects done, just like it would be to make sure your patient makes it out of surgery and home. But it's very interesting trying to navigate that as a female. But what you do is you try to just get everybody on the same page. And so somehow I try to divert that whole point and let's focus on, okay, yeah, this is an issue for you, but that's not an issue because we have to focus on the project. So let's get the project. Where are we on timeline? Where are we on cost? Can you do what you need to do? Do you have what you need to do? And let's get it done. And so that's kind of how, I'm not saying that that always works for everybody, but that's sort of how I kind of walk into the door. So we're not going to go back and forth about, oh, it's a woman, oh, it's this, oh, that. No, I don't care what color you are. I don't care I don't care what you, as long as we're on the same page to get this project done, just like I would my patient. So I don't care about all that stuff. I care about making sure we can finish the project.
Sounds almost like my military experiences. But
Good point.
you know what I'm hearing though, which is something that I'm glad that we can have this type of conversation where people can see it, is that Deb, you were not in design, yet you have a company that deals with design. Alexis, you were a nurse, but you have a company that deals with construction, so which means you don't have to be a principal within the area that you're working in. You just have to understand how to coordinate and manage and market certain things in order to make it work. And that's very important for people to understand when they're looking at career options.
Definitely. That's all we talk about is just exposing young people to all of the myriad of options that are available, from brick and mortar to back office to management.
And it also, from my perspective, it seems that it means that certain skills are transferable. If you have certain skill sets,
Yes.
you don't have to be in a block or a box. You can take those skill sets and perhaps you develop them in something that you needed to do, but your love may be someplace else, and you have to take that leap of faith to go into that thing that you love with those same skill sets. So it almost, and I think that happens in See You Grow, and I assume that it happens in your program too. It's the skill sets that have to be worked on and developed and improved. And once you can kind of get that type, I guess, discipline, or that the formulas that you ladies have used in order to make that switch from one thing to another, how do you teach that though? How do you bring that out of the people that you're coaching and you're advising?
Is that her or Deb?
she passed that. That's a skill set, right?
She passed that to Deb. Well, a couple of things. One is, I mean, the company I am dealing with, the two companies, this is my second year of coaching. And in both cases, the companies were already involved in construction. Even though this year, it's not like a first year start, but he's been around maybe a year or two, still very, very, very new to the industry, but experience through his partners. I think really the bottom line thing, and I hear this from my mentees, it's all about people. And I hear this from my classmates as well in the Ascend program. we just had a conversation with Alexis's business manager about 2 weeks ago after the last class about this. It's about the people. If you can find the people, good people, right, with certain personal characteristics that no matter what technical skill is needed, if they have the right heart, they're committed, they're honest, they're willing to learn, they have an open mind, they're willing to step in and project manage or do whatever it is to get the project done, then you've got a good core group you could build upon. We're big on honesty and trustworthiness. So
integrity
is very important. So we then build upon that, and thank God I've networked with people who are grounded with those qualities. It's a small network. I'm not saying that it's small because that's all there is. But it's just right now small for me in my industry, and we're trying to find more and more people because we're the small company in this industry dealing with companies that are making multi-million dollars. You can find a comfort level that works for you and your lifestyle, in terms of an income source. I saw the headline for a book the other day, My Tiny $1 Million Company. And she's happy at $1 million, and so I'm anxious to read about it. She's happy at that income level. But I just quoted on something this past week, and it was worth $500,000. So you can probably decide that, okay, I'm going to spend.
Good luck to that.
Yeah, I truly, and it's with one of the companies. It was one of the construction companies. I think they're still bidding, so I didn't want to say their name because it's such a competitive industry. But a good number of companies that Alexis mentioned, Bain, we've worked with them. The Durst, worked with them on the Durst Organization project, which was a residential project in the mid-30s or so in Manhattan. We've worked with Turner. We've worked with a lot of them. and one. Mm-hmm.
Have you done anything in the public sector, Deb, like with DOE and in
the beginning? Yes, Tony. In the beginning, we, thanks to Columbia and the platform, the network is huge. And I remember clearly Laverna telling me that one day that, this class that I was in, that I was graduating from in 2010 could springboard my company into a whole nother level. And the network has mushroomed. I've purposely sort of reduced it down to size, but yes, I've worked with a lot of the top CMs, and they weren't around, or Turner was around when I was in construction, but now I'm dealing with a special division, which is called Division 10, special signage specialty, and it's a different group of construction players. Some companies have folded, some have merged, been acquired, and it's all still, for me, marketing. I always knew I wanted to own my own business. So I studied marketing and business communication so that I could use it to just help me market my company.
Interesting. Alexis, what would you see to be one of your biggest hurdles that you've had to overcome in your success?
Well, I would say definitely the everybody says capital. Everybody says capital. I'm not a legacy firm. So mentorship, capital, reasonable rates, human capital, so not only monetary.
Which is what you were talking about, Deb, I think.
So the human capital, being attractive to human capital when they have, like Deb said, all of those large firms that offer all that great stuff. We're kind of gritty. So we, if you come work with us, we're going to grind. We don't necessarily have 10 departments. It's not like a change order department. department, HR. You know, it's, it's sort
Interesting.
of me changing my hat. Let me put on, it's the HR hat. It's the change order hat. This is the professional development hat. So I think those have been, that's probably why I've utilized, you know, so before the fire department, you know, I started when I was 18. I didn't graduate high school. I have 3 degrees, one graduate degree from NYU in development and construction. So when I talk to these young people, my big thing is I don't want to hear it. There's not, oh, but no, 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 I don't want to hear it because there's opportunities out there. There's programming out there that, you know, we can't walk past it and say we didn't get a chance or
Right,
no one told us. We've got to try, right? And
right.
I'm not saying that that's easy, but I'm saying that there are opportunities out there and you kind of have to be in it to win it, you
That's
know?
true.
Really do. You have to, and when you're young, sometimes you don't know what you want to do, but you got to do something. You got to put food on the table, you got to eat. So when I talk to my young people, I'm like, I'm all about the low-lying fruit. So I'm fortunate because I have people like Deb, I have people like Diaz Electric, you know, all these organizations that benefit from some of these programs, and we send our kids to them as well.
Mhm.
So, you know, it just so happened that Turner had the force, you know, they had a lot more breadth to take on more students. But we want our young people to know that we don't want you just showing up like, okay, we're here for the internship. No, no, no. But what can you do for Deb? Do you know how to measure? Do you know how to take good photos? Do you know angles? Do you understand that when Deb has to go to a site, that she has to do a survey that coincides with her work to make sure that she's not missing any areas, to make sure that everything is adding up? A young person, you know, in our program can do that. And we would reach out to like Deb and say, Deb, what are some of the things that you just don't have time to do? You know, like, so in other
Mhm.
words, yes, that intern is learning, but we want them to bring value. So if Deb said something simple, like an architect told us, measuring, you know, I sometimes have so many sites, you know, and I'm trying to draw, and I'm trying to measure, and I'm trying to, you know, wouldn't it be great if a young intern could actually go and understand measuring so that they could measure? Punch lists, believe it or not, Tony, punch lists are a pain. Um, you know, sometimes if it's a huge building, and we all have punch lists. Deb has punch lists.
Hmm.
And so a young person can do that, go floor to floor. And where Deb could say, oh, you know, her project manager can actually relax, you know, and say, come back to me when you get to the 5th floor.
Well,
But
Deb is athletic, so she can get to all of the floors with you
I
know.
tell them start from the top and work down. It's easier
that's
on the
what,
cats.
see, and so we bring, you know, and I'm going to bug Deb, but we bring them in to talk to the young people to tell them, you know, sometimes these kids, Tony, they don't even know that there's a signage, that there's a, you know, wayfinder, you know, they don't even know, they don't even
I
think.
didn't. You know, Deb said, you know, what do you do? She says, I'm in the wayfinding
Yep,
business, and I said,
yep,
okay.
yeah, exactly.
But it makes so much sense. I
So
mean,
many opportunities.
I
Yes.
think you pointed at a sign, the men's room or something like that, and say, "Well, you
Yeah.
see, that's what we do."
Yep.
Which is, I mean, it's something that you don't really think about. You know, you see, as you have said often, Deb, we know of your work, might not know you, but probably have used you your work, especially if we were going to Columbia University and want to find out where something is at. And we look at a map to tell us where we're standing and where we are going. But very seldom that you look at that and say, wow, you know, that's a business.
Yeah.
Somebody had to get paid to do that. And it takes a lot, as you had said, Alexis, in order to make that sign work, there's a lot that goes into it that creates other jobs or relationships because different things. Someone has to make it, someone has to do artwork, someone has to find the materials and all of those types of things. So that's why I commend you both. And of course, the work that you do with the Columbia programs, because we don't always have access to that type of information. And they're brilliant people who, if they have the right type of direction and mentors, could take that energy and place it into more productive ways. And it's just access. Speaking of which, I would like to make sure before we end, we have a couple more minutes, that you tell people how they can reach you and what are the websites or any of the other type of ways for people to reach out to you, because obviously when someone sees this, they would, if they're interested in doing the things that we've talked about, would like to follow up. So how would they do that? Alexis, you can start and give people that type of information.
Sure. So if on the construction side and the development side, that's what we do. Our last project was in Harlem. It was a boutique condo.
Which
Uh,
was that? Which was?
our last project was named after James Baldwin,
Uh-huh.
Baldwin Park, and it's in Harlem. Um,
Okay.
and so we talk a lot to the young people about that because it's good for them to understand their built environment. And so when we had all the social, injustice and everything that was happening, they feel more connected to their communities. So on the construction and development side, they could go to our website, bottomlineconstructiondevelopment.com. They could send an email, info@blcdnyc.com. And for Youth Construct, it's easy. All one word, youthconstruct.org. Same with info@youthconstruct.com.
Hmm. And Deb, I need to find my way.
Call me 718-208-8213. That receives text, voicemail, email, everything. I do my best to keep it simple, especially during the pandemic. It worked out nicely. One number. Just call this one number and that's it. But someone can always go to our website and get a better idea of our work by seeing pictures of projects we've implemented, including work at Columbia. And it is the website is DebRomain, DebRomain.com. The email is info@debromain.com. There's a contact. If you click on that link, it'll send an email directly to me. It's in the on the display, so that's great. We're very grateful for everything that Columbia has done for us, and truly the networking, and right now it's all about collaborations, and I love collaborating. So it's not only collaborating with people I've met at Columbia, but also outside of the world with Columbia. And Alexis, please, we'd be happy to teach and to spread the word about wayfinding and signage, because it includes not only code signage, it's branding, it's navigational, it's improving the patient journey, to speak about healthcare, the big terms that they like to use. It's all about visual communications.
And Deb, what about, contracts with the city? The city always has signs. Sometimes they're very confusing as to when you can park and when you can't park and what day, which is a whole other story. But
you put those signs up, Deb.
that might be a pitch.
Now, if the sign were taken down, I would say it was one of my family members, and then the client. Oh, really? That sign is down? Let me help you. Our work with the city, right now we're working with Fashion Institute of Technology. We would love to do something like what Alexis is doing with her program and actually help to teach. To have a program that educates younger people about college age students about design and wayfinding. And I think they have something we'd like to be able to use from their pool of talent because they're young. They're not because they're young, but you know what I mean. They're there to learn about design in all aspects of it, not just fashion, but also using other materials, which we call substrates. So the substrate we use can be acrylic, aluminum, as I mentioned before. In terms of other city work we've done, we used to do a lot of work with the School Construction Authority, and now we're focused on dealing directly with what we call the end user. So as Alexis mentioned in describing the process, yes, surveys are done, but bottom line is you have to be able to get that direct information from the end user, because what goes on that wall will impact what they're telling, what they're communicating to their clientele. If it's a university, to the students, to the faculty, the staff. If it's a hospital, it's the patients, it's the caregivers or the family member that may be coming to visit someone at the hospital.
Or just this is the men's room and this is the ladies' room.
Don't laugh about that. We just finished up a major program at the Morningside campus that involved updating the restrooms to be not only ADA but also gender neutral. And in today's world, you have to factor all of these things now, that there's a symbol to note that this restroom, regardless of what sex you are, can be used by.
And that's I guess my age kicks in. My daughter, when she was in high school, she went to the ethical culture, and they have these bathrooms that anybody can go into. And I remember one night we went to a show, and I was not going into this bathroom with these little girls that didn't look like me.
Right.
I said, no.
Liability.
No, I'll just wait. But that's true. I guess that the whole gender thing, and there's so many changes that sometimes it's hard to keep up with. But to be politically correct, I guess that's good for you in many cases.
It has been. So I smile on my way to the bathroom.
I do. All the way to the bank. Alexis, so do you have any projects that you're looking to get into now, or that you would have in 2023 that you would like to land or be involved in?
Oh yeah. I mean, right now we're on about 4 or 5 schools. We're on Brooklyn Tech, PS 88, High School 620, PS 6. We were just the lowest bidder on. So we've been doing a lot of grad mentor work, which Deb is really familiar with. I worked with her there as well. And we've been patiently waiting to get the go-ahead to do the topping slabs and polished concrete at Studio Museum of Harlem. We're currently on the New York Public Library on 125th Street, doing the HVAC work. So we've been really working hard, Tony, and we're also on
that's a good thing, I guess.
Well, the talent pool is kind of tough, but we've submitted 2 RFPs this year with a church in the Bronx for development, affordable housing, and 1 with NYCHA. Those are JVs. So I'm really happy. I'm like Deb. I really think that the key to us growing and really making an impact is by partnering. We're not an island, and you're not going to get ahead alone. So
again, Alexis, Deborah, Bottom Line Construction, and your youth program, and Romaine, I'm just happy to be able to talk to you two because you're so inspirational, and it's good to allow for people to see these faces of people that look like them that are doing things that in many cases might have never been able to do it. But I see, thank you for the watching. That's match signal to me that I'm
Oh,
I need
Thank you
to
for
get
having
out of
me.
here. So thank you, Matt McCoy, Soul City TV. Thank you, Deb. Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you,
Of
Tony.
course, we'll have you come back at some point because it's such a good show when you have women like you there to kind of show what can be done with just a little bit of faith in yourself. Take care, and we'll see
Thanks.
everyone next week.
nice to see you, Deb.
And same time,
Talk soon.
same station. Good
Yeah.
luck. Take care. Be good, both of
Thank
you.
you, Tony.
And thanks for your
Thank
time.
And thanks, Columbia.
Columbia. Sorry.
Uh,
This is Kia Rogers, and you're listening to Urbanology with my dad, Tony Rogers, on WHCR 90.3 FM New York.
Urbanology.